Hey guys, subscribe for daily content. And if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks! What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I've got another short little unboxing video to share with you guys. Something new from Microtech, at least new to me. I think this is a fairly recent release. It's been a long time since I have covered a past generation of this knife. This is to a lot of people, this is the ultimate EDC Microtech, and I have always kind of disagreed, but this is something that a lot of people are very adamant about. And I'll just open it up and we'll take a look at it. You guys can tell me what you think. This is just an unboxing, not a review. And this was sent to me by eKnives, loaned to me by eKnives. So thank you so much. I'll have links for this and all of its different variations down in the comments. It'll go to eKnives. It does help my channel when you use those links, but that's up to you. Thanks to my patrons for supporting me. Make sure your notifications are turned on for the Metal Complex YouTube channel. So what do we have here? I haven't actually opened this up yet. eKnives sent me a whole bunch of stuff that I've been wanting to get my hands on for review. This is a Generation 4 UTX 85. How interesting. The last time I looked at the UTX 85 was probably 5 years ago. I think that it's I'll have to go back and see how old my review is. It's very old. This has been completely updated. Now, here's something that I've said here recently about this big titanium ball bearing clip. I traditionally do not like clips with these big balls in them because they're too pinchy, and I just hate it. This is so much larger. This ball is so much larger than the ones that I base my opinion on that I've found with, I think, is it the Combat Troodon? Yeah, like this is, I'm wearing sweatpants today. This goes in and out of my pocket so easy. And I can't remember the Combat Troodon. The new one is exactly like this, but I really like carrying whichever one it was that had that clip. If it was that, I can't remember, if it was the Hera 2, like the bigger one, or the, the Combat Troodon. But that works really, really well. I do like that. I do like that we have this massive, it almost looks like a T20 Torx there. And then we have a whole bunch of what appears to be, are they T8? I actually want to take a look, because that's a big deal. You don't often have to take your OTF apart. And by the way, if you've never done it before, it is not nearly as difficult or as complicated as you might think. Thank God these are T8. We have 4 T8, and then we have the other side of that. This is a nice, like almost a kind of reflective OD green here. And then we have the new Easy Switch. Oh, this is night and day better. It's been years since I picked up the UTX 85, but this is infinitely better. All of my issues with the UTX 85, a lot of it was like my preference for a larger knife back then. But there's a couple of things that I want to point out here that I think immediately make this better from what I remember the original UTX 85. Number one, this is a good size. I do like the size. I personally prefer the size of the Ultratech, which is slightly larger. This does not feel dainty anymore, and it does not feel underpowered. I will point out that it feels about the same power as the Ultratech. It is nowhere near as powerful as, I say nowhere near. It's not the same power that you're going to get in like a full-size Combat Troodon, or especially like the Scarab. You're not going to get that. But this does feel substantially more snappy and way less, I don't know. Do you guys remember the power of the old UTX 85? It was kind of like, it just, I was like, that's going to become unreliable pretty quickly. This has that new Easy Switch, and it's wider. It's not so aggressive on my finger. It doesn't feel dainty. It's got a good sized blade. Obviously, it doesn't seem like they're gonna go, I don't know. I have no idea. I just have to say this so that I can stay out of that whole mess between Hawk and Microtech. I have no idea what's going on with all of the legal stuff there. This clearly does not have the ZBT system or zero blade tolerance or ZBP zero blade play. At one point it was one and then switched to the other and whatever. And then Hawk said, yeah, I don't want that in there, and I have no idea where that's at now. This is the Gen 4. It does not appear to have that system. To be honest with you guys, it doesn't need that system, as myself and many, many other content creators have maintained. What I think is cool about Hawk OTFs is that's their thing. They made a zero blade tolerance, like a truly zero blade play, and you still have these goofballs who, my Benchmade infidel doesn't have any blade play. Okay, let's sit down on your carpet square. But then, like, you know, honestly, like the SOG Pentagon and some other ones have gotten like really, really close, but not really ever been able to 100% eliminate blade play. Hawk did it, and this was a special thing that doesn't really add any utilitarian value to your knife. It doesn't functionally make the knife better. It just kind of implies that it's better, but it doesn't really. As somebody who owns 2 Hawk deadlocks, neat, doesn't make it better. The functionally it's the same, right? But this was something that was, you know, taking an OTF and making it look. This was also a custom OTF. Like it costs way more to create, right? The Microtech OTFs, these are production OTFs, but people would tier Hawk higher. You know, and I do. Like, if you want my opinion, I do. The Hawk knife, like they're if you handle one, like it's an obviously superior product versus Microtech's production OTFs. But it should be. It's a custom, right? To me, it's almost 2 different territories. I think Microtech is like, we just got to have that so that we can like be top dog. Well, you know, doesn't sound like that was, you know, something that should have happened. This should have just stayed the way that it was because it's fine. Like, I view Microtech production OTFs as extremely nice production OTFs, but they are in their own tier, and they don't need to have zero blade play to be good. These are plenty strong. A lot of people think, you know, if you jam this into something, the lock is going to be weak and it's going to, you know, push the blade into the handle, or it's just going to like fall apart. And people who think this, I don't think they've definitely not watched the testing videos. They've definitely not EDC'd a knife like this. Maybe a cheapy Chinese one that they assume is the same quality, right? No. There's a huge difference between a real Microtech OTF, a production Microtech OTF, and some cheap, you know, junky knockoff. These are reliable, super durable, like way more durable than people realize. And this size is actually pretty awesome. Like this is the size of OTF alongside the Ultratech that is just about perfect for EDC. I really like the newer UTX-85. I think it's great. We have M390 MK, which they are now apparently consistently heat treating above 60. I've seen some reports of 61.7. Somebody had one that tested out, I don't know if it was with transparent, 61.7, almost 62. That's pretty awesome. The other thing I was going to mention is the reason that I like these more compact OTFs so much is not only is it convenient, right? I mean, in some places, these are still illegal for essentially trivial, like you know, if you were to really dive into like why a law was created, like they don't, you know, people would say, I don't know. They're scary. Oh, I know. I remember. It's because they're fast, right? Yeah, it's tactical speed. No, I think, honestly, I think a lot of it boils down to like easy shakedown laws. These are no more tactical or speedy or anything. Anybody thinks like, I mean, like a manual thumb stud deploying knife can literally deploy just as fast, just as conveniently. I mean, it's ridiculous that people still make that argument. So where, you know, if you live in a place that has sane knife laws and you're able to carry stuff like this. So I live in Kansas. I'm able to own and legally carry this, no problem, right? People who are scared of a blade that comes out really quick, it's just like, there's just kind of a knee-jerk reaction, because the truth is that it's just gonna, you know, it's gonna stop with very little force, right? That's it. These are, in my opinion, ironically, some of the most convenient and safe knives. I think this is far safer for the average person. I think the average person is far more likely to injure themselves with a folding knife. When you're talking about the other person, the other side, if you view knives just as weapons, the person on the other end of it, right, that's a different thing. I think a person who carries a pocket knife is simply far more likely to injure themselves with it than anybody else, because you are the person using it every single day, right? Because of the way that a dual action OTF operates, you as the user are far less likely to injure yourself with something like this, because the blade during operation of the switch never actually has the opportunity to come in contact with your fingers. I think that these are incredibly safe options. Now, the only problem with stuff like this is that Microtech is, there are plenty of other companies now that are capable of producing the same level of quality as Microtech, and Microtech is just charging more, right? Now, to be fair, I think that Microtech's like final product is a bit more polished. I think if you've handled a lot of this stuff, you pick up a Microtech, you know it's a Microtech. There's that little bit of extra, right? But they know that little bit, that they can charge a lot of it more, right? So your competitors, like your real competitors, I'm not going to mention Benchmade. They make plastic OTFs. Kershaw and Hogue, Axial, Guardian Tactical, right? There's some other ones now. There's some other new ones. They're all making pretty good stuff, and a lot of them are priced about $50 cheaper. So still think the Kershaw Livewire, as far as like USA, we're not talking Chinese OTFs. We're talking USA production competition. I think the Kershaw Livewire is still one of the best priced ones out there. But I gotta admit, the UTX 85 versus what it used to be is substantially better. This is miraculously better. For a lot of people, this will be the absolute ideal sized OTF. My main concern, the reason I wanted to check this out, I wanted to see if the power and the action actually felt snappier. Not because I need the tactical speed or because I want to hold it up against the solid surface and puncture it. No. You want enough power so that you know as time progresses and you get lent and other little things in there, that blade is going to continue to deploy, what's the word I'm looking for? Reliably. The blade's going to continue to deploy reliably over a very, very, very long period of time before you have to take it apart and clean it out, right? Rem oil, a little bit of rem oil will make these things go on forever. Not forever, but a really long time. But yeah, I mean, honestly, pending the price tag, which I'm sure is just too much, you can do that with your index finger. This is pretty nice. Okay, I will review this knife. It's been forever. This is a completely different knife than the UTX 85 that I reviewed years ago. That's going to be it today, guys. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.